What a nice, stressful day at work. Selling my soul and body so I can earn just enough money to do the same thing again next week.
Hey.
Hey.
Good day?
Yeah, it was a good day.
It was not a good day, but she doesn't know that, so I can lie to her face. I swear to God, if these keys get jammed again, take a deep breath. Just get inside and hide away like the little squid boy you are. Man, I fucking hate work. You gotta show up every single day making other people money because I've gotta pay for food so I don't die. But it's okay, I got the gym. Right? No, don't put your bag down. No, don't get your phone out. Don't do it. Fuck. This guy is so cringe. Why is he so obsessed? You know why you hate that guy, right?
I don't hate him.
Not only do you hate him, you're jealous of him.
Why would I be jealous of him? He's dumb, he's basic, he's an NPC.
You're an NPC. He's living his life. He doesn't hate himself. He doesn't wait until the perfect scenario rolls around before he actually does anything. Listen, bro, you fantasize about all the changes you're gonna make when you're lying in bed thinking about tomorrow. And then tomorrow rolls around and you wake up dreading existence, being reminded of the life that you could have just out of your reach.
Man, who the fuck even are you? And how'd you get into my house?
Every opportunity, you let it pass, lying to yourself that there's going to be a better moment, when deep down, you know there's not. And what's worse, you've actually started to accept that. Accept being alone, because the alternative is getting your hopes up and having them crushed again and again and again. And he is free of that. So yes, you're jealous.
Man, fuck you.
If you're someone who's on self-improvement and you're already taking chances and taking risks, no matter where on the ladder you are, then this video is not for you, and you're not like me. If you're someone who thinks that you need to keep improving, keep getting better and better, keep getting better looking, getting stronger, before you're going to finally feel confident enough to go speak to that girl or go handle that difficult situation, then the good news is you're like me. The bad news is that you fell for the self-improvement trap and you think a right moment exists. And you will probably relate to this video. Growing up, I was the type of loser that got crushes on girls that I would see on TV. Selena Gomez, Kim Possible, the evil chick from Kim Possible, the thick mum from Dexter's Lab. And then I'd go to school and I'd get crushes on girls that I didn't even speak to. And I'm making myself sound like a fucking simp, but I'm telling you the truth, I did. And I wouldn't dare to talk to them, but I'd create these fantasies in my head. And the group of guys that I chilled with were like the gamers. We all played League of Legends, and randomly, one day, a girl joined. I don't even know who invited her, how she joined, but I just remember that she joined and I got an instant crush. You know, bear in mind I hadn't even spoken to her at this point. This is just from her even being there. And we started playing games together. And I was crushing bad. Like, she was cute and played games, and in my head she was this dream girl. And then we started talking more and became closer friends. And I remember at the time thinking, I don't know how to hit on a girl, but I wanted to hit on her. I wanted to ask her out, or I wanted to date her. But I always saw this advice saying, you need to wait until the right moment. The right moment. So I waited and waited and waited, and I don't know if I was just too autistic, but I never got a good sense of when that moment was. So nothing ever happened. Nothing ever happened. And then one day, the moment came. And there was this party. And I knew people were going to be drinking there. I knew she was going to be there. So You know, I picked up my, coolest, freshest clothes. As you can see, I looked sexy as fuck. And I rocked up to the party. And I see her when I get to the party, and in my head I think, you've just thought in your head she's hot, why don't you tell her? Everyone's already drunk, this is a good opportunity as ever. Why not? And I said in my head, no, it's not the right moment. There's too many people around. So the night carries on, I'm drinking more, getting drunker and drunker, and I see her dancing. And I go over and we're dancing together, and I think again, you need to give her a compliment. Why don't you ask her how she is or how her night's going? And I said, oh no, there's too many people around, it's too loud, the music's too loud, I better wait again. And then, a few hours pass, and then we go outside. There's maybe 4 of us, me, her, and then 2 other people. And we're lying down on this trampoline, drinking liquor and just chatting. And I'm looking at her, and I don't know if it was the drink or what, but I felt it was the right moment. So I looked her in her eye and I said, I think you're extremely beautiful. And to be honest, I think we should, go out or something like that. And she made this face. She went, oh, thanks, bro. Oh, wasted. At the time, I don't even know I saw it as a rejection. Maybe I was too drunk or probably just too fucking dumb. But I just thought I didn't get the moment right. I thought I picked the wrong moment. And then the next day, I guess when the alcohol wore off, it dawned on me. Oh shit. What if she tells people at school? What if news spreads? What if people saw? People are going to think I'm a fucking loser. I was cringing bad just at the moment itself, and I didn't even consider the fact that other people can learn about it and start bullying me or saying things or whatever. And I'm preparing in my head like answers of what to say before they even ask, just so I'm ready. No one even ends up saying anything. I don't know if she just didn't tell anyone or people just felt bad for me. But yeah, no one ever mentioned anything. I still clung on to that day because that's just the way cringe works. You vividly remember your own and occasionally remember other people's, but it doesn't consume you the way... It doesn't consume other people the way you think it will. But I knew I didn't understand that right moment shit. I don't know if I'm too autistic or dumb or grew up too isolated watching fucking YouTube and playing Warcraft. I don't know what it is. But I would see guys at school and I'd see them doing it. I'd see it in shows on the TV series that I liked, and I'd see guys at my school doing it with the girls that I liked. And I guess they just implicitly understood this or knew when the right moment was, or maybe they were just more attractive than me. I don't know, but they were taking opportunities and having success and playing the game of life whilst I just watched from the sideline like a fucking spectator. The game Double Dutch? We don't have it in the UK, but I've seen it on TV series. Finding the right moment, to me, feels like playing Double Dutch. And if you go too early, you get hit. If you go too late, you get hit. There's a small window of time where you can catch the rhythm, and that's it. And I think I view life like that, where there's a sequence of windows, small windows, opening and closing all the time. And I think one of the reasons why I was so depressed is that I was so aware of all of the opportunities I'd missed. Every time where I could have said something and I didn't. Every time where I waited instead of acting. All those dreams I had that I never chased that I should have done. I think if I was unaware, I might have been happier, but I was so aware of all this. I'm so aware I could have been different, but I couldn't do anything about it. I just kept fucking reliving the same shit cycle over and over. One of the things that I learned is that I'm a doubtful person, and it comes from being analytical, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I'm like that on crack, and I can't turn it off. So when I'm in a situation and I should do something, I just end up thinking. And if you think too long about a situation, you're going to think of like some form of doubt is going to creep in. And that's what kept me paralyzed. And what I learned is that you only need your actions to be one step ahead of your doubt. The doubt can come. You don't actually even need to get rid of the doubt. When I cast my mind back to all the things that went right in my life, there was still plenty of doubt involved. But my action was one step ahead. And because my action was one step ahead, even when the doubt came, the plan was already in motion. You know, prior to that moment, I don't know I was even living life. So I got to the age of 22 and I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know how I would respond in situations because I never acted. I never put myself in situations to find out. I hid from them. And then a few years later, a new window of opportunity opened up. And I had this newfound knowledge and I was going to make things different this time. So I had this new job. It was a graduate data analytics job in some different city. And it was my first like adult job using my degree. And I was super excited to even just have a wage, even though it was minimum wage. I was super excited. And I walk in and I remember just being amazed. There was this office full of like 800 people. And as I'm walking down, I'm just looking at, there's like 100 cute girls. And I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. And I worked in analytics, so the department I sit in is like all autistic dudes. And I'm sat down and maybe on like the third or fourth day, I'd just done some course and I was feeling confident. So I'm heading towards the lunch hall and I'm just looking around the office and like smiling confidently. And by accident, my eyes lock on this super cute girl. She was very cute. She was like an e-girl. And whenever she'd walk around, you'd see people staring at her. And I don't know I would have ever actually tried to stare at her, but it kind of happened by chance. And when I looked at her, she blushed and smiled back. And then, you know, I just keep on walking, trying to play it cool. But in my head, I'm thinking, fuck, like, this is a moment. Like, you should go introduce yourself, you know, like, say you've just started working here. And I was ready. So I go back to my chair and I'm prepping on what to say. And if you're like me, even before I'm in a tough situation, my mind will start overthinking. And when I start overthinking, I start getting stressed out. It's like even just imagining going to speak to her was raising my heart rate. And I learned online this technique it basically activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which just lowers your heart rate and calms you down. It's where you take a regular inhale and a long outhale. So I'm sat in my chair, breathing like some fucking weirdo. I'm trying to prep myself to go speak to her. And I guess I get my head in the space where I'm like, this is it. So I get up and I walk over to her desk. The office was in like rows. So I walk down and she was at the end of a row. So I'd have to walk past everyone to get to her. So I'm walking down and then I turn my head and she's looking at me and I'm looking at her and I smile at her. She smiles at me saying, you know, what's up there? And then and then I'm getting closer and closer to where her row is. And then I'm thinking in my head, okay, this is it, this is it, this is it. And I keep walking past and then I turn my head and she's just looking at me back there like, huh, that was weird. It kind of felt like he was going to come over and speak to me. And I just went to the toilet and acted like I needed to piss, even though I definitely didn't need to piss. But I wanted to style it off, I guess. And then, fuck, I missed the moment. So I went back to my chair and then was feeling like shit. And then, I don't know, like a week later, like I hyped myself up again. And then I'm like, oh no, I've got it in my head. I'll make this plan. I'll time when I leave so that as she's leaving, we kind of walk towards the exit together. And then, so, 5 o'clock hits, I time it, I'm leaving at 5 o'clock. And then she starts speaking to a friend on her row. So I can't wait there like some fucking weirdo. So I just keep walking, and then the next day rolls around, and then she leaves too early, and I can't like chase after her like some fucking freak. So I'm just trailing behind her. And I just think to myself, like, how many fucking moments am I gonna miss? Like, I was Googling like looks maxing advice, how to look better, how to be more confident, and to be honest, it was working. I looked better. I was improving my life. I had a career, and all that does is get you opportunities. And if you don't know how to take them, then it's fucking worthless. I was in a new city. I was alone. I hadn't been dumped too long ago by my ex. I was fucking hating it. I was fucking hating life. And all the hard work, I was busting my ass off in the gym. And then when an opportunity would come, I'd just fucking let it go. It's fucking so stupid, but that's what I did. That's what I did. And I remember I went to the gym, and on the way back, I just thought like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what the fuck am I doing? So the next day, I guess I built up the energy, and I'm sat again at my desk, like doing that fucking breathing, and literally in the middle of the day, the timing didn't make sense. I didn't look good, I didn't have my coffee, nothing was right. And I just walked right over to her bench, looked her in the eyes. I had to like walk past all her mates. To be honest, she was having a conversation with her friends at the time, and she didn't even have eye contact. She didn't even know I was going to do this. And then I just bolted straight to her and I said, "Hey." And then she looks a little startled at me. She goes, "Hey." And then I was a little taken aback, I guess. I was feeling the fucking rush of just taking action that I didn't realize it was my turn to speak. So she just gestures me with her eyes, and I'm like, "Oh yeah." I go, "Hey, I had to come introduce myself. I think we've made eye contact like a million times. I only just started working here. What's your name?" And we start chatting basically, and she told me her name, and at the time I didn't even remember it because I was just so. It's like I was staring at her, but I wasn't listening to anything she was saying. But I'd done it. I just acted. I don't know if that was the right moment. It can't have been. But it was our moment. And, we became friends. And I remember one night where we go out for drinks. And I'm walking around town with her, slightly drunk. And I'm thinking in my head, like, you're doing it again. I wanted to kiss her. I hadn't kissed her yet. And I'm just waiting. And I just go, "You won't like this anymore. Come on." So I just literally look at her. I go, what did I say? I said, "I can't stop thinking about kissing you." And I just lean in and kiss her. And then we start making out. And the good thing about acting is that it's a positive spiral. One of the reasons I was in such a shit, depressed fucking life is because successes lead to other successes. And I never got through that first window to see all the other opportunities. I always missed the first one, and then everything's a what if. If you see a girl at a train station or out at the gym and you get that moment to say something and you don't, the tough part is that you can lie to yourself that she wouldn't have liked me anyway, I'm too short, too ugly, don't make enough money, I'm not jacked enough, too skinny, too fat. The truth is, and the painful truth is that it actually could have gone somewhere. You could be in a relationship with a dream girl right now, and you let the moment pass. You fucked it up. Nothing else needed to change other than you taking action. And I guess for a long time I didn't realize that. When I view life backwards like that, it makes me sad thinking about all the opportunities that I missed and what my life could look like. And it took a long time to get over that, I guess. I realized that there is no right moment. There is no right moment. There is only moments. And that's good and bad. It's good because it means that there's always more. There's always more moments. And it's bad because you realize, like, you become so aware of the life you could be living. And you're letting it slip through your hands. I think if the hopeless situation I was in was completely outside of my control, if I was in some extremely terrible accident and I was I wasn't able to even like speak or something like that, then as fucked up as that is, there's a level of acceptance with it. But the reason why I couldn't sit with myself is because I was ruining my life. Every single day I let opportunities go that could have made me happy, could have found me love. And I was stopping it. I'd see other guys acting. I'd see some guy, with a girl that I liked, and I'd think in my head like, oh, I'm better than him. Or, when I played games, I was toxic as fuck because I saw other people being happy. And I wasn't. And in my head, because I had other things going for me, I thought that mattered, and it fucking doesn't. I was scared of life and I wasn't living my own, and they were. So it pissed me off. Yeah, and I think once I started realizing that no conditions need to be right, like, you don't need to look better, you don't need to be taller, you don't need to be more confident, you don't need any of that stuff. And that's not to say you shouldn't work on that, because that stuff will influence your confidence. But I can tell you that I did all of that stuff and I was still alone. Because the biggest part of it is actually taking action. And you probably don't. You probably don't take action. You probably get thoughts that I should stop this workout routine. You probably get thoughts that I should work on that side project. Go speak to that girl. And you don't do it. I don't do it. Yeah, and it's not easy to start, but when you realize that nothing needs to change, the only thing that needs to change is taking action, it gets a little easier to bite the bullet. And you stop trying to obsess over tweaking little variables in your life, and you just fucking go for it and see what happens. And you start living your own life. You start creating your own story, and you'll actually you'll actually start to like life. Yeah, it's a weird ending, but I hope you resonated with the story. I hope you liked it. Let me know your thoughts, drop a like, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this.